Hello guys, this is a hands-on video where I will be showing you how to create a database agent with the help of your large language models. When we say agents in artificial intelligence, what we mean is that these will be AI powered entities that perform tasks which aid in decision making and automate processes within any enterprise. If you have worked in any organization or enterprise or business, you must know that all of the data is stored in some sort of database. So it is imperative that when we are building Gen AI powered applications in any enterprise, it is a must that it will get integrated with databases. So if we want to fully leverage the power of AI with our own data stores, then agentic applications make a lot of sense. And when it comes to agentic application, it means that we should be creating database agents. Now you can create these database agents with the help of API providers for the LLMs like OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, Amazon Bedrock, and there are heaps of them. Or you can use open source models. There are specific open source models which do database workloads, and I have covered few of them in my channel. So if you're interested, have a look at them. In this video, I will be using OpenAI's model because they are one of the best when it comes to text to SQL stuff, plus also for analysis. But you can also and easily port the code which I'm going to use for any model. I will also be putting in all the code which I'm going to use in my blog, and I will drop the link in video's description. Before I move further, let me give a huge shout out to our good friends at Mast Compute who are sponsoring the VM and the GPU which I'm going to use for this video. If you want to try out and rent the GPUs on affordable prices, I will drop the link to their website in video's description. Plus, I'm going to put a coupon code which will give you 50% discount on an already discounted offering. Highly recommended. Okay, so for this hands-on demo where we will be building a database agent, I will be using LangChain, which is one of the best framework to build LLM powered applications. And then of course, as I said, that I will be using OpenAI. When we say we'll be using OpenAI, it means that you have to go to platform.openai.com and grab an API key from them. Or if you want to use any other API provider, feel free to use that. Just replace your LLM, but you would have to tinker with the code update to make it compatible with your LLM provider. But I'm going to go with OpenAI. Also, locally on this VM, I will be using Jupyter Notebook in order to run it, just to make it easier. Or if you want, you can use it VS Code, you can use Terminal, you can just throw all the code in your Python file and use it from there, up to you. Okay, so having said that, let's try to start. First up, let's install some of the libraries. Now here, if you look, that I am using some of the usual stuff, like I'm using pandas library, which is primarily used for data manipulation and analysis. I'm using langchain, OpenAI, and for tabular one, and also the ODBC connector to connect to our database. Let me run this. It is going to install everything. Should not take too long. And as you see, there is a static here. So as long as that static is there, it means that the cell is running, your commands are running. So let's wait for it to turn to any number, and then we will proceed further. Shouldn't take too long. That is already done. Let's import this stuff, and just I'm going to run this. Libraries are imported, and then for the database one, I'm just going to use SQLite just to show you quickly. But if you want to use Oracle, SQL Server, or whatever database, you just throw it in there and then you can use it. Okay, let's first create our database. So in order to create database, what I'm going to do, I have this finance.csv file locally. This is the one. So it has few columns. It just contains the random data about some products countrywide, how many sale price, gross sales, discount, and all that stuff. So this is the sort of file which I'm CSV file, which I will first be using it with my database. So I will be importing it within my database, and then I'm going to go from there. So let me quickly do that, and then this is my notebook. I'm importing this finance.csv, and that is done. So I have just read it with the pandas, which had converted it into data frame and all. Put it in the df variable, and then let's create our database. So I'm just creating it on the file system with SQLite. I'm just reading that, calling that test.db, and I am creating the database engine. That is done. Let's throw our pandas convert data frame converted CSV file into this engine or database. That is done, and there are 700 records in that file. Now let's generate some of the prompts. So I have taken it from the NUNG, so really shout out to them. So I'll just scroll up. You can just create it as your own, or it's a very generic one. You can reuse it. So I'm just saying it that this is that you are an agent designed to interact with SQL database, given an input, do this, and then it's a very generic one where I'm just telling it some SQL stuff. Now, if you are using some specific database and it has a different syntax, maybe update it here, but more or less this thing covers all of the relational databases. Of course, if you're using any time series database or if you're using NoSQL database, then accordingly you can change this stuff. But I think this should be good for all the major database engines out there when it comes to RDBMSs. Let's run it, and that should be done fairly quickly. Okay, now let's grab our LLM. In order to grab the LLM, okay, sorry, I repasted that thing. Let me grab that LLM key. So now we need to initialize our LLM. So for that, you would need to grab your OpenAI's API key, and then you have to set it here in between these double quotes. So let me do that, and I will delete it because I don't want to expose my key. So let me pause that, set the key and clear that cell. So I have set my API key, and then I have initialized the SQL database from the database file path on your local system, and then I have initialized the toolkit, which is primarily the SQL database toolkit from LangChain. And that is the beauty of LangChain, that it comes up with a lot of out of the box tools so that you don't have to worry about them. And let's ask some of the questions from our database. And this is the same CSV file which we have imported into our database, and I'm asking it which was the most popular product in Canada in 2014 in terms of units sold. Now I am just asking it in the natural language. I'm not giving it any table name. So what model will do, the agent, it is going to first convert it into SQL and then invoke the agent in order to get us the answer. So let's define the agent, and we are just going with the database agent or SQL agent here. So all I'm doing it, I'm just telling it, okay, this is SQL agent, this is a prompt, they follow these instructions, and you can amend them, of course. This is our model, this is our toolkit, and I'm just going with that output probability top k just to control the output, and then I am making it verbose. So let me quickly run it. Let me scroll up a little. That is done, and now let's invoke our agent, and now you should see the magic, hopefully. So you see it is going into the chain. It is now, look at that model thinking. The model is first saying that I need to find a table containing product sales data because that is what we asked. Then it is creating the query, and then it is going into the DB schema, and then it says that, okay, now I know that table product sale doesn't exist because there is no table by that name. So it needs to use a correct table name. So it has selected a correct table name from the database because that is what we gave. And then this is the schema, and then it has obtained the data from the database, and then it has run the query, and then here you go. So it has returned us the answer that the most popular product in Canada was, in terms of units sold, was this, with these many units sold. How good is that? So you see, you can simply use this to do a lot of things. For example, your customers from the call center or chat center ask natural language questions. Instead of human in the loop, you can simply go and then give it to your model. Model will generate the SQL query on the fly and return you the answer. So because when the normal application which we built, they have specific queries. If a customer asks something which is not we already haven't written in our application, then we simply just you know raise a feature request, developers go write it and then embed it in the application. But for this one, you don't have to worry about. Customers can ask whatever they want, and then LLM should be able to get the answer from database, and we can of course code it properly that if LLM doesn't find the answer here, maybe it will go search some document, or maybe it will just use its training data to return the proper answer, or just simply tell the customer it's not there. So opportunities and things are unlimited here, and you can already see that how easy it is to create these database agents. As I said earlier, I'm going to put all the code in my blog and will drop it in the link in video's description. Check it out. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you're already subscribed, then please share it among your network, as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.